Hello. So today we're going to talk about our story, and we're going to go over some of the things that we tell ourselves, some of the unuseful judgments that we have about ourselves. We're going to take this time to really dive in deep and look at our interior. So this is going to be an invitation to really slow down, look at ourselves, observe ourselves, and acknowledge the beliefs that we hold for ourselves. It's going to be a very beautiful process of exploring authenticity within yourself and also discovering elements of yourself that you may have not known have existed. So the goal here is to discover the hidden judgments. And then what we want to do is we want to transform those self-judgments into powerful declarations for ourselves. So this is a beautiful process of reclaiming our truth and getting back to a useful story for ourselves so that we can become, the most successful, and then really walk our truth and become healthier, happier humans as we journey through this lifetime. So as we watch these self-limiting judgments dissolve and give birth to powerful declarations, we also begin to declare a new truth for ourselves. So what we want to do during these next, 30 minutes to an hour is I invite you to find a quiet place and to sit with a journal, close your eyes, and think about the following questions. So we'll start to ask some questions, go over what we want to discover within them, and then I invite you to put me on pause, journal whatever it is that you need to journal about, and then we'll proceed to the next question. All right, so the first one we have for ourselves is, discovering the hidden judgments that we have about ourselves. So first question we have is, who do you think that you are? All right, so who is it that you think that you are? So we want to go really deep here. And for the purposes of this exercise, we're going to look for the unuseful judgments that we have about ourselves. So I want you to really focus on trying to find, at least 10 things that you're saying to yourself. So for example, one could be, I am unable to find time to focus in my life on myself because I am a mother and I also work a full-time job. All right, so that's an unuseful judgment, okay? Another unuseful judgment would be, I don't have what it takes to, and then you can fill in the blank here, either become successful or live a healthy life, find a loving partner, or be in a loving relationship, whatever unuseful judgment that you are saying to yourself about yourself. Another could be, an example could be, I don't have what it takes to be responsible with my finances. So whatever your story is that you are telling yourself, just sit with this. Who do you think that you are? And document, 10 different statements about yourself. Once you've done that, what we want to do is we want to feel into the emotions that arise when we speak these unuseful judgments about ourselves. So maybe one is, I am lazy and unmotivated to work out. So how does that actually feel when you say those things about yourself? Just as an example. Where does that feeling resonate in the body? Is it in your throat? Is it in your head? Is it in your heart? Is it in your gut? Where do you feel that emotion? And what is the label that you can put around that emotion? So for example, is it sadness? Is it anger? Would it be bitterness? Would it be shame? Resentfulness? What is the emotion that you are feeling when you say those things to yourself? Does it feel hurtful? Okay. So go ahead and put me on pause. Go ahead and document those 10 unuseful judgments. And once you've done the emotional work and documented what arises, come on back. So this next question is going to be a similar practice, but now we want to ask ourselves, who do we fear that we are? So who do you fear that you are? All right, so just like above, you're going to ask yourself this important question, and I really want you to go deep here. Slow down, sit with the question, and see what arises. You can write these statements down, and again, we want to find at least approximately 10 of them. So some examples could be, for example, I'm not a good parent. I am not good at follow-through or commitments. I lack discipline. I am unworthy of love. I am stuck in a pattern and unable to break habits. These are just some examples that may just trigger or bring about some more clarity for yourself and for your own judgments that you have about yourself with who you fear that you are. So again, feel into the emotions that arise. And when you document these unuseful judgments, what is the label around the emotions? So again, feel into the emotions. What is the label that you can, what is the word that you can stick with those emotions that you're feeling? Go ahead and find a word for it, label it, put it next to the statement, document it all. And once you're done here, again, you can put me on pause. And once you're done, return back and we'll ask the next question. So this next question is, who do you think that you should be? All right. So some things that, society has conditioned us to believe is that if we are a woman and a mother, then we need to behave a certain way. If we are working a corporate job, then we need to behave a certain way or think a certain way. Potentially that we need to live in a certain house or have a certain lifestyle in order to feel that we are worthy or accepted. And so who is it that you feel that you should be in this lifetime? Again, sit with about 10 of these different statements, discover 10 of them within yourself, sit with them, and document how that actually feels for yourself. Maybe there's control, maybe there's not feeling truthful to yourself, not feeling in your truth, giving up control of who you are in order to appease someone else. So again, we're just going to go deep here and look for some of those unuseful judgments of who that we think that we should be. Label the emotions, document it all. And when you're done, come on back for the next piece. All right, so now we're going to move forward and talk about discovering hidden judgments inside of relationships. Now, I truly believe that relationships are some of our greatest teachers for ourselves. When we are able to work with another person and learn about another person's perspectives, it really gives us an opportunity to learn more about ourselves. And so when we're looking at the relationships that we have with other people, we want to also look at how these other people, some of them in our lives, may have triggered us. And so what I invite you to do is to ask yourself these questions as well. So who last week or in the recently, who has triggered you? And what was it that they said that triggered you? What is the judgments that you have about yourself that's hidden behind what they've said? So I'll give you an example here. For example, let's say that a parent says to their son or daughter, I am worried about you being able to succeed in this world and have a steady career. That is a worry from the parent to the child. The child can hear that statement and be triggered by it. But the trigger is because they're holding a self-judgment around themselves. For example, it could be that they do not believe that they have what it takes to be successful. Because if they had all of the belief in the world about themselves, that comment from the parent, even though it's somebody very close who loves them and they love, there's love between the two of them, it could it could be a trigger. But because they hold their own truth and their own authenticity and the confidence within who they are, that statement wouldn't necessarily be a trigger. So it always comes back to us. It always comes back to our self-judgments about ourselves and what we truly believe in ourselves. So this is just such a beautiful exercise in discovering more about ourselves. And that's why I really invite you to go deep on all of these questions. So these moments, really, when you get triggered by these moments, it's an opportunity for you to get really curious. There's a lot of gold in that. There's a lot of gold in these moments. Again, relationships can be our greatest teachers about ourselves because it's another person that can mirror back to you and amplify back to you that frequency that you're feeling inside. Once you have finished the conversation with whomever it is that's triggered you, you will want to, without reacting, without amplifying the conversation back toward them, just take the information, understand that you've been triggered, acknowledge that you've been triggered, go and sit down, close your eyes, slow down, and just go in deep. And ask yourself, get really curious. What is it about the comment that that person said to me that has been a trigger? And just allow whatever needs to come up. Again, there's no reason to be judgmental behind any of it. It's just simply an awareness practice and a judgment that we hold on to ourselves, and we can be really grateful that those relationships, are our greatest, and those moments are our greatest teachers. So go ahead and think about that for a few moments. Write down however many experiences or options, opportunities that you have felt with someone triggering, or you feeling triggered by someone in the last week, 2 weeks, maybe a lifetime. All right. Take as much time as you need here. And when you're done, come on back for the next piece. So now what we want to do is we want to transform the self-judgments through the art of alchemy. So basically what we are doing is we're working to transmute those emotions, those self-judgments, and those limiting beliefs that we have about ourselves. We're looking to transform them and alchemize them, basically breaking them down and recreating them, giving birth to a new statement for ourselves. It's a really beautiful process. So one of the ways that we can do this is that we are going to, with all of those statements that we had up above, we're going to put this statement in front of it. So forgiveness. I forgive myself for judging myself for being the I am, and whatever that statement is. So for example, I forgive myself for judging myself for being that I am unable to break habits. Or I forgive myself for judging myself for believing that I am incapable because I am a woman. So this is such an extremely powerful exercise. After we've written down and we've discovered all of those self-judgments that we have about ourselves, going through the practice of forgiving. And this part might take more than just this session. You might want to work on some that feel the most triggering to you and really sit with them. Maybe some of them might even take 30 minutes or an hour to just sit with one statement and forgive yourself through it. Doesn't necessarily have to take this long. It can take maybe a minute or two. But sometimes there's so many layers that we need to work through that when things start to arise and come up, we find things that are hidden underneath it. Or it may be that we work with it to clear it on one level, and then throughout the day, out of nowhere, another layer will come up But this is the process of us beginning to transmute all of those self-limiting beliefs, all of those unhealthy emotions that we've been carrying around with us for so many years. It's a process of releasing our traumas. It's a process of releasing the emotions that we've been storing in our body that causes stress, that causes joint pain, that causes dis-ease, that causes, lots of just illnesses within the body. So this is a process of becoming healthy from the inside out. All right. Really working to release those emotions. All right. So sit with those and begin to place the forgiveness with each of those statements. Give yourself time. Again, slow down and be with the emotion. Feel into it. Feel it deeply. Allow it to fully integrate into your being. It doesn't have to be something that we fear. So just remember that fear is safe. It is safe to go into those dark places. It is safe to look at your traumas. It is safe to want to heal your body and want to heal your emotions, with all of them. So again, be with the emotion, be with the anger, feel it, be with the judgment, feel it, be with the resentment, feel it, and keep speaking the statement until you connect with an innocence of your being, and also until you connect with no more emotions surrounded around it, okay? Connecting with the release of the emotion until there's nothing there except for a void. And in this void, that is where the rebirth happens. So what we want to do is from the void, see what arises, see what truth you have about yourself that arises from that void. And that's where the beautiful transformation occurs. So just remembering that we are working to not chip away at an iceberg, okay? We're working to dissolve an iceberg. And so when we look at the iceberg and we dissolve it with heat, for example, it will melt away. So that's what we're looking to do. We're not looking to attack it, all right? So just observing it, dissolving it slowly until there's nothing left of that iceberg anymore. From that point, that's where the creation comes. All right, we're going to move on to the next part, which is the rebirth. So these are creating our declarations, your I am declarations. So from here, you want to feel into your truth. What is it that you truly are? What comes from, after we've dissolved that iceberg? What is the rebirth after this? So for example, one of mine is, I am permitted, I am a free will being, and I can choose my thoughts, my actions, and my, I don't know what that says. I can't read it. And my ability each and every day. All right. So, my reality each and every day. So another example might be, let me just read you another example. One of mine is, I am a nurturing mother in tune with the highest self of my children. I recognize their needs and I'm connected to their energy and respond with love, empathy, and compassion. So we all know that relationships can be tricky from time to time, but this is something that I declare for myself. This is my truth and how I choose to connect with my children. I choose to connect with them so that I'm in connection with their higher needs. So what is it that they need from me so that I can tap in to, maybe it's that they need more love from me, or they need me to show them that I love them through whatever it is, cooking dinner. But I remind myself that I am a nurturing mother and that I can connect with them and understand their needs. And so there's a lot of different, examples, and I'm going to actually send a script of this this module that has everything in it. So if you want to review this module, you can also review the video or go through the script. The questions will be on there as well. And I also have some additional declarations from myself and also from a mentor of mine. So for example, some of his say, I am presence, I am power, I am connection, I am love. I am loving, respectful, and grateful of every dollar I spend, and I earn while continuously creating a better life and a better world. So these are just examples of other declarations that have been created from myself and from my mentor, so you can get an idea of what to create for yourself. So I want you to also, I wish you love and compassion for simply being you on this journey, and appreciate you so much for going through this process. Again, it's a beautiful process, and I think you're going to really love the outcome of it. So have a wonderful day, and sending you all lots of love as you move through this process. And until next time, we'll see you soon. Take care.